Welcome to the Highcrest Audible. Each week you'll hear something new. It might be a short story, the next chapter of a non-fiction book, a novella, a narrative poem, a scene from a play, or even a legend from an ancient civilization. This half-term, we're exploring a range of short stories. At the end of every reading, you'll be asked one question. Get it right, and your form group earns house points. All it takes is for one member of your form to find Mr. Howes, state the accompanying word of the week, and provide him with the answer. Now, on to this week's reading. K. Morri's The Descent. Enjoy. The Descent by K. Morri. I am safe. I remind myself on a loop, and I do again now as I open my eyes. The room is entirely foreign to me. This bed is not mine, nor do I recognise it. Aside from the bed and its sheets, the room is empty. Bare walls bathed in the dim yellow light of two small fading bulbs hanging from the ceiling. No windows, but in the far right corner lies a door demanding attention. Wrought iron, exposed rivets, faded peach vinyl paint flaking at the hinges. In its ajar position, it resembles a door you might see aboard a submarine or down a bomb shelter. This room is not a friendly space. It screams at me to leave. My bedroom often screamed at me. The blue walls of my childhood looked out for me when I protected my sister, before I learned to protect myself. My father would hit my sister, and each time I would lurch at the 6-foot-tall boulder of a man set on diverting his rage. My sister, 4 years old, 5 years younger than me, might have dared any number of childish crimes. Stepping in front of the television, obscuring the football. This was one such crime and would be remedied with a swift palm knocking her to the ground. I would scream. I would lash out, desperately trying to pull his attention away from her. I knew the pattern. He would lift me off him, shove me across the room, and send me to my bedroom to await my punishment. My sister, most likely, would have run off to hide in the bathroom and wait for it all to pass. She was safe there in the times when the lock had been refitted. She could bathe her face to slow her bruising, while I was left to wait, alone. In those moments, the bed covers pushed to the bottom of the bed and the pillow scrunched against the wall as though everything knew to distance itself from me. I waited for the visit from my father. The visit masquerading as a correction of my behaviour, though punishment in solitary was never for my benefit, and so my bedroom cried. It pleaded at me to leave, whispered that I should climb out of the window and run. Now I am safe. I say it again. My feet touch down on the waxy floor next to this foreign bed as I rise and move quickly across the room. Sunlight pushes through the gap between the iron door and frame, forcing its way past me as I edge the hulk open. My eyes adjust, and a thin corridor reveals itself, empty, with doorways on both sides, deserted rooms beyond. To the left, the corridor bends into shadow. To the right, a set of French windows, floor to ceiling, the beckoning sunlight bouncing playfully off the Art Deco frame. I move. Reduced to an observer of myself, I struggle to keep up with the swiftness of my movements. The world rushes by as though I remain in one place and everything else conveyor belts past me. I find myself stood the other side of the glass on a protruding balcony. Short, thick stone pillars topped with a simple concrete shelf. The balcony arches round as though to embrace me, as though it knows me. I look down. A courtyard, small and well tended, while the building itself in its vastness stretches as far to either side as I can see. Gigantic bricks, each one the size of a person, with gaps where the mortar should be, as thick as a fist. The dust from the stone sprinkled generously over the balcony floor. My bare feet fidget to brush away the irritation in a futile action. It happened again. My sister hid in the bathroom, but this time I listened to my bedroom's plea. I fumbled through my wardrobe looking for shoes to escape in. The only pair were beaten-up old school shoes. I pulled all the laces out for a chance my feet might fit, but my toes still scrunched into a ball as I forced my heel in. I relaced them as best I could, just tight enough to hold my feet from bursting out when I stood, and half limped to the window. There was a roof below, the kitchen, an extension which had been added to the house before I was born. The surface was covered in tiny black stones, which would make themselves known to any uncovered souls that may ventured upon them. My feet hurt in these shoes, but they had to do. Once outside, I stepped cautiously to the edge. There was a small coal shed beneath me to the left, and I had been quite certain I could drop to it. From there, I could have run to the back fence and climbed into the field. The corn was high at that time of year. I could have laid flat, and no one would have been able to find me. I stood at the edge of the roof. I looked down. A shallow breath forced past my lips, and the beating of my heart quickened. I closed my eyes. My father entered the bedroom behind me. I do not know if I heard his voice or the click of the door, but that moment propelled me, eyes still closed, one foot leading forward into the air. My bare feet, irritated by the brick dust, stand, with each toe curled tightly under like two little fists. I breathe out, relax my feet. I am safe. I look to the vastness of the wall, like an echo in the wind. A whisper passes over its surface, and before I can process the beckoning nature of its soft calls, the world moves past me again, and I find myself climbing hand over hand down the outside of the building, each giant brick a ladder down to the gardens below. Click. The latch of a door or window opening above. I look up, but there is no one there. More hastily now, I continue to climb down, reaching each step over the next brick below, placing my feet in the gaps between. But each brick feels wider than the last. Such a long climb for such a short distance. A voice. Familiar, I think. I lean some weight away from the wall, searching for anyone above, but pull in again quickly. A throbbing pain takes over my head. Familiar, unwelcome, rapidly intensifying. I squeeze my eyes closed, wincing again. A last-ditch attempt to slow the hurt leads my hands to leave the brick and clutch my head, disregarding the inevitable fall. The cruelty of gravity, its unsympathetic pull. I open my eyes in fear, reaching back toward the wall, but nothing moves. The world stays still. Everything hovers in place. The pain disappears just as quickly as it came. The sunlight continues to shine across the vastness of the walls, glinting off window frames and playing tricks on the reflections in the glass, getting brighter, building to a blinding white realization. The pain, the descent, the voice, the click, the door, the room. The world resets. I am safe. We've just read The Descent by Kay Morri, a story that moves between memory and the present, blurring what's real and what's remembered. In one of the most powerful moments, the narrator makes a desperate choice to escape their father. So here's your question. What does the narrator do when their father enters the bedroom? When you've got your answer, find Mr. Howes, tell him this week's word of the week and your answer to that question. Have a great week.